Was I nervous?
Why Berlin?
Berlin because I think the first reason was music.
It's sort of a unique city, and there's experiences you have in Berlin you won't have anywhere else. So I actually started to think about that for a while, like, you know, why not Berlin?
A year ago, I got into electronic music, techno, music that is dance music.
Berlin is really, it's a German melting pot, or a European melting pot. It's a German city, but it just has people from all over the world, and it just has such a wild, kind of free, do your own thing kind of vibe.
And if you're into this kind of music, I think Berlin is the place to come, because Berlin is where people actually come together and dance to this music in social club environments, and I wanted to know what that was like.
It's a high school boogie, a hillbilly boogie, it's teenage boogie, it's teenage boogie on Saturday night.
Für mich ist Berlin die interessanteste Stadt Deutschlands. Es gibt viele interessante Städte, es gibt viele schöne Städte, es gibt viele Städte mit einer reichen und bedeutenden Geschichte. Aber die Stadt in Deutschland, in der es auf einmalige Weise der Charakter der deutschen Nation, die Schwierigkeiten des Zusammenwachsens der Nation und die Fülle der Ereignisse, die hier stattgefunden haben, machen Berlin zur interessantesten Stadt.
So I think that I mostly just had stereotypes about Berlin as a hip, cool, grungy, artsy city.
Just the memory, the feeling of like having my hands up and everyone having the same like insanely good mood and like the most clear, amazing, loud, happy disco music playing. When I think about that, and when I think about my first time having experienced that, that really moves me, literally.
People usually play music too, and just like, I don't know, just like you actually feel like you're in Berlin when you're like right there.
Also, I've heard about the general vibrant arts scene here and wanted to know what that was like, because I had an idea about Berlin being multicultural, international art metropolis, but it's hard to know what that actually means until you've been here.
Berlin ist vielfältig aus verschiedenen Gründen. Menschen aus Ost und West, aus Nord und Süd. In dieser Stadt leben zum Beispiel mehr als 300.000 Russen, 170.000 Türken und nochmal mehrere 100.000 Menschen, die türkischer Herkunft sind. Kurden, Aleviten, Syrer, Amerikaner, Engländer, Franzosen. Also diese Stadt ist im wahrsten Sinne des Wortes ein Knotenpunkt, ein Ort, ein Melting Pot, also verschiedenster Kulturen. Das gibt es so nur in Berlin. In Berlin sprechen die Steine und die Steine erzählen uns Geschichten. Meine Rolle habe ich immer nur darin gesehen, euch ein bisschen dabei zu helfen, die Sprache zu verstehen, in denen die Steine in Berlin, die Ereignisse in Berlin zu uns und zu euch sprechen. Dieses neue Deutschland, das aus den Trümmern des Krieges entstanden ist in einem komplizierten Prozess, stellt sich weitgehend den Herausforderungen, aber hat neue zu bestehen.
Getting here was a bit of an adventure. I didn't unfortunately get my luggage right away, and so I remember I had to wear the same clothes for the first 4 days.
So the first person I met here at IES was Taylor, and she was really upset because she had just lost her luggage that day, so she had to wear the same clothes like for a couple of days.
After that, all was well.
My first experience with people at IES was pretty interesting. My flight arrived like mid-afternoon the day we were supposed to be here, and I showed up and I walked right into a tour and was immediately introduced to about I don't know, 7 or 8 people in front of me.
I sort of felt very nervous and kind of like I didn't know anyone here, so it was really nice to be greeted by someone new.
I had come like at an awkward time where like one group had already kind of started their tour, and I like kind of got like jumped into like the middle of it, so I didn't really know anyone until like afterwards and had to like kind of be introduced.
And then after that, it was mostly just meeting all the people in the program and having somewhat superficial, you know, who are you? What's your favorite band? You know, the get to know you kind of questions. And for me, I'm always a bit unsure of myself in those situations because sometimes it's hard to make a good first impression. So it was nice to get through those initial first few days and actually find some real connections with people.
My first couple of days were pretty rough. The time change was really getting to me. Thankfully my bed was pretty comfortable, so I got to do a lot of sleeping.
Before I came, I was really kind of stressing out. Mostly my parents were stressing out about like, what all do you need to get in order to live in Germany for 5 months? And I was like, I don't know, but IES knows.
And I remember walking in and Nicole greeted us and it was immediately bam in German and we were like, whoa, we're here, we're in Germany, we're gonna do this German thing.
I mean, I was really excited to get away from the US and my familiar environments, and I knew I was going to miss the people, but I was also excited for get to know new people and just to have new experiences. So it was a big unknown, obviously, but I was mainly excited about it and not as nervous. And I think knowing German definitely helps that.
Probably happy.
Döner, oh my gosh. Absolute best food. I swear I'm gonna open up a döner shop in Minneapolis when I go back.
I had a dinner last night at 12 a.m.
Döner kebab is by far the best food I've ever had in my life.
Dinner is life.
I really like it, but I think there's only so much you can have.
After, I don't know how many months, 10 months of being here, I love döner more than ever. I'm still just as addicted to it like everyone else. The döner box with salat is a pretty good option.
You can eat it any time of the day. You can eat it for breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Mit salat or mit pommes. Is it 7 a.m. after getting back from a club?
In the wee hours of the morning, it's fantastic.
Dürüm or regular döner. Pommes is obviously more satisfying in the carby, greasy way.
Lots of spices, a lot of extras that you don't really get in some of the other ones, but
Sometimes when you're trying to cut back, you know, that the döner box with salat is a pretty good option for just the meat and the salad. But if it's 12 a.m. on a normal night, dürüm.
Döner, gonna miss you.
Nikki, get up.
Do you sleep with your shoes on?
Always.
One of the best parts of being in Berlin has definitely been the opportunity to travel outside of Berlin and then come back to Berlin and remember how much I like Berlin, but the traveling is also amazing.
And I visited Budapest, Hungary, Prague, Czech Republic, and Hamburg,
Dresden,
Florence, and Siena in Italy, Bratislava, Slovakia.
My most memorable experience would be Morocco for sure. I think camelback riding and being in the Sahara Desert was definitely the most unique experience I've ever had.
I hadn't traveled by myself before, and this was like going farther east than I've ever been.
Yeah, it smelled bad, but it was totally worth it.
And then going to Italy with IES was also really great. That was one of the best experiences probably of my whole year here.
Just everything from drinking wine along the canals of Venice to seeing the different art exhibitions in Florence.
Going to Venice and seeing that city, which is probably the most beautiful city I've ever seen.
Just a whole different other side of culture that I could experience and try out, and that was really cool.
Leaving Berlin and visiting other cities while I'm here has definitely been fun when I've done it, but every time I've always felt ready to come back to Berlin, which just sort of solidifies the idea in my head that I made the right choice by coming here, because the other European cities are fun to visit, But Berlin is actually a place I could live in for longer than a few months, and I actually feel, a bit more at home here, which I think is cool. The main way in which I've changed through this experience living and studying in Berlin is that I've become a bit more sure of myself and a bit more confident. And I think being in a city for the first time where I sort of had to go out into the sea of faces that I didn't know, I had to go navigate a public transportation system which I'd never done before, and at first it was tough, but the fact that it just got so easy and natural after a while, I think it just made me a bit more confident and upbeat.
I'm definitely going to take the openness that I've learned here, learn how to be more open, learn how to say yes to more things, to not be afraid to try new things, to think, oh, I don't really know where this is, but I can figure out how to get there, and just being more willing to try new things.
Does IES feel like a family? In some ways, yeah. But I think the cool thing about having this IES American family is that it's all different types of Americans.
Die Frage, ob jeder die Chance nutzen sollte, da kann ich nur sagen, unbedingt und ja. Es ist eine einmalige Gelegenheit. Berlin ist ein einmaliger Ort und es ist eine einmalige Chance.
You're spending 4 to 6 months or an entire year in a different country learning, and not only in the classroom but also in your everyday experiences. So it's just a fantastic, fantastic opportunity that I'll look back with happiness for the rest of my life.
Was kann man sagen?
Ich liebe Berlin.